Okay. All right. So we are back from break. This is the second half of Advanced Virtual Presentation Mastery. And we just got done talking about texting. So we got everybody texting, but that's a great way to get your audience on your text list if that is what you want to build. If that's what you want to build, I find it works in big groups. It works in big groups, but you're going to have some of the same problems that you saw here today with different phones. Might get frustrated. Now, if you're selling a product, I never do that, because if you're selling something at the end of your presentation and you get people frustrated during it and you don't have the time to get them unfrustrated like we had here today, they're not going to buy from you. So just be careful with this technique. I do it when it's a giveaway, and I got a lot of people and I don't really have time to explain a strategy session. It's a good move. So you see, there's 5 or 6 ways that you can do an invitation or a call to action at the end of your presentation. You're going to have to pick the one that's right for you. So sometimes, even when you have permission to sell something, sometimes it's not right. So about a month or 2 ago, I was speaking at an event, and I sold my little one-day workshop for $47. It didn't land on anybody. It wasn't the right audience. Even though it was okay for me to sell, the audience itself, it was a LaTip networking group. They're not accustomed to that. And it was the wrong thing for me to do, and I didn't know it. And the host didn't really tell me. She was just like, yeah, sure, go ahead, right? And I didn't even think further than that. So sometimes you're going to learn as you go, but it's okay. It's okay. But another friend of mine turned me on to a group that I'm going to be speaking at, and even though I can sell to that group, and she said, I know you can sell, but this is a pretty hardcore group. You might just do better giving something away, which is a great tip. And if someone told me, any of you told me, hey, I'm going to speak at the LaTip networking group, I would say the same thing. Kind of a hardcore group. You might want to just give something away. Yes, Cheryl had her hand up.
Is this an avenue to build a list, an email list? Is it possible to build an email list this way?
Yes, and those were the examples. Let me share my screen. Let me hold on just a moment.
Because in trying to start my building of my list, Arvee, let me tell you something. I have 1,500 phone numbers in my phone, of which I have no email addresses, like to send, to create my list, but I have them all in my phone numbers. Is there a way to send that to my phone numbers and have them enter their emails and it end up on my list?
No, you're going to have to do it the hard way. So you're going to have to text individually all of your people and say, hey, I'm building my list. Would you like to be on my list? Here's my website. Go and opt in. Right? Because when we're in the front of the room, that's a good thing. When you're in the front of the room, one of the pieces of the script that you want to share with people is that they're going to end up on your email list, right? You're going to enter this raffle, but I'm going to put you on my email list, so where you're going to get public speaking videos every single week. If you want to be on the raffle, but don't want to be in the list, just let me know. That kind of thing. So it's permission based. Okay. But we can't just put somebody on our text list, or even by law, or on our list without permission.
The feature I was looking at is that when I came to my phone for you, I had to enter my name and my email. So I was wondering, is it a way when I send it to them, they entered their information? Because I entered my, well, maybe that was something else I went on of yours. Oh, maybe that was your other link.
Yeah, that's an opt-in.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're talking about, I've got stuff, people on my phone, I want to go the opposite way, just email them or text them, create one text, say, I'm building my list. I'm hoping you'll be on it. Go to my opt-in here, go to my website, opt in, get your checklist, and then they'll be on your list legally.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a little work. You know, it's going to take you like an hour to text 150 of those people. So it's probably going to take you about 10 hours. Okay. So
Okay.
just so you know, but you do a little bit every day. All right. Okay, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go, ladies and ladies. All right, the O is for just habit. The O is for over deliver value. You want to over deliver value without overwhelming. This lady here, she's overwhelmed. This is somebody at tax time, right? So over deliver value without overwhelming. That is what the O stands for. All right, let me stop my show. Good. I want to make sure I'm recording. Over deliver without overwhelming. Now, one of the ways that you can do this too in this virtual world, again, we're talking about virtual presentation mastery, is to now use PowerPoint pictures and videos. When you are just a talking head, and I've seen it done both ways, I have done it both ways. There are times where I'm going to choose just to be like this. And I'm going to tell you what to do if you do choose to do this. And there's going to be times where you can add PowerPoint, add videos, and mix it up a little bit. You can go back and forth like I've done it too. If you stay just PowerPoint, it could be just as boring as if you don't add any PowerPoint. So use it wisely. So I'm going to unplug my microphone, because when you plug in the Yeti, a little tip, ladies, you cannot hear your own videos. You cannot hear your own videos. So let me make sure when you share and you're sharing sound, you on the share screen, you've got to hit the little share sound at least once. Then when you play a video, you unplug, you can hear it too.
All the boys are calling crazy girl. I hope she sings this tonight. I know. Hey, Dad, pull over. We need gum.
I'm on it. Oh, honey? Here's some money.
What do we got here?
I love it.
Patient has a fractured fibula. Given a mild sedative. So I could be able to go home tomorrow.
Daddy's gonna be so excited.
All good.
That killed him.
Paging Dr. Palm.
Look at the cute dog.
So you can add video. I know it's funny. So you can add videos to kind of spice up your presentation. You can get them off of YouTube and put them in. Now I'm going to, some of you have requested a YouTube class, right? Who's requested the YouTube class? Was it Cheryl, Beth? So I'm going to offer you one. I put one together. And one of the things we're going to do is, how do you download some really cool videos? Because you just can't straight download them from YouTube. I'm going to teach you how to do that, and then how to embed them and use them in your PowerPoint if you don't already know that. And of course, some other cool stuff. But another thing that's really powerful now that we couldn't do before was testimonials. Get your clients to do video testimonials, and you can bring them in. It used to be in order to have a live testimony, I'd have to invite that person there, or whoever was in the audience, I would ask them to do the testimonial, or it would have to be printed and put up on PowerPoint in text. But just look at the power of this. Oh, wait, sorry. Look at the power of this.
Hi, my name is Gail Gajardo, and I took Arvee's class, and oh my gosh, my life has been transformed. Using the simple math equation that she shows us on how many presentations to do per week and translate it to how many clients and leads that it generates and how much each client is worth, I am now making $60,000 a month. And I'm going to continue to be her student, and I'm so excited, and I just want to let you guys know this really works. Thank you.
So videos, powerful. Testimonial videos and fun videos as well, emotional videos. All right, so now we are on the end. We're almost done. We're doing pretty good. We still got the event creation we're going to do, but we're on the end. And the end is for naked authenticity. And many of you have heard me talk about this because I get on my soapbox often about this. And that is where public speaking is going is naked authenticity. And that, what I mean by that is being real, being really who you are, and being vulnerable, and just being honest and letting it hang out, and not trying to hide things. You know, if you're a man or woman, a perfect example is sometimes they might be a man or woman of faith, but they're trying to protect their audience by saying higher power or whatever they say. I don't know what they say. I don't even know what they say, but all kinds of other stuff. Be real, be what you are. You're not being preachy. You're just saying what it is for you. Might be something for somebody else, but be you. Don't you try to be, compromised because of your audience, because otherwise people will get confused and no one will be attracted to you. So whatever you are, whatever your core values are, don't be afraid to share them. You're into health, you really love health, you weren't always healthy, great. Be transparent, have some transparency when it's centered around your business and what you do. It doesn't mean you're going to go and tell all your deep, dark secrets. I'm not talking about that. Most of the time they're not relevant and they're not who we are today anyway. But be real who you are right now today. All right, naked authenticity. Now, but that doesn't mean, right? Especially in the virtual world, that doesn't mean to do inappropriate activities and go, well, I was just being myself, right? So it doesn't mean to pick your nose or pick your ears or put eye drops in your eyes or eat or chewing gum or any of that stuff, which is really kind of magnified and doesn't really look great. Walking around the room, typing on the keyboard, talking on the phone, talking to people in the background, whether you're speaking or not, allowing the family to come into the room and interrupt you, barking dogs. Yes, I'm guilty. My dog's already barked several times today. But when I'm doing a speaking engagement, I put them in the other room because I'm doing a training and because all of you love dogs, I let them stay out. I didn't want to, and this is so long, 3.5 hours. But I normally unplug my phone, turn off my cell phone, and I put the dogs in their kennels until I'm done. And I shut my door and minimize any of the distractions or disruptions. And one of the worst things that I've seen on Zoom is someone smoking. I kid you not, it was the grossest thing I've ever seen. Not only is that gross anyway, but to see them puffing on something like that was just gross. I didn't think anybody did that anymore. Anyway, so doesn't mean to do those activities. That's not being real. All right, and the last one here is sell with stories. Sell with stories. Your professional stories, and of course, there's 4 other stories that you must have in your presentation. So stories open the hearts of your listeners. Now, when listener, again, we're all about creating activities for them to take action. That's what we want. If you want them to take action, you have to open their hearts. If their hearts are open, it's a direct line to their pocketbook, a direct line to their pocketbook. So you can do it with your verbal stories, or you can tell stories through video, which I told a couple of stories already. So there are 4 kinds of stories that you must add to your presentation. Is that true or false? Is that true or false? And I'm going to get my chat up here. True or false? Oh, what was N? N was naked authenticity, Cheryl. Naked authenticity.
And I wrote that down. I just didn't realize it was for the N.
Right, right. Doesn't mean to be naked. It just means to take off some of the shields, take off some of the barriers, and let people in a little bit to who you are. All right, so A, not sure. All right, true, I guess. Okay, so that's not clear. Right. Yes, it's true. It's true. And I'm going to share with you now what those are. All right, so 4 stories to open the hearts of your listeners. There's the professional story. There's the success story. There's the emotional stories and a story with a lesson, and the emotional story. Now, I told the professional story. We talked about professional stories. That's your story that earns you the right. Success stories are testimonials. I showed you a video. Stories with a lesson and emotional story was rolled into one with that video of that don't judge others, right? There's a lesson in there, and also it's emotional because it made you laugh. Emotional stories do not have to be boo-hoo stories. And some stories you can combine. All right, mostly just the last 2. All right, so those are the 4 stories that you must have in your presentation to open the hearts of your listeners. Now, not all those stories are you going to fit into a short presentation. I'm going to give you another quiz in one moment and we'll answer that. But here's all the 7 ways to become that mind-blowing $1 million online speaker. Audience participation, remember. Camera-ready position is the C. T is the trust and rapport. I is for invitation to take the next step with you. O is for overwhelming value without overwhelming value, over-deliver value without overwhelming. N is for naked authenticity, and S is sell with story. So you can take a quick picture of that screen if you want to. All right, so I'm going to give you the success secret here. Real quick, let me move you guys over there, you ladies over there. All right, so speaking success secret formula is to always speak. We're going to talk about this when we do events a little more in depth, but number 1 is knowledge and passion. You have to have both knowledge and passion, and of course, an audience. Knowledge, passion, and an audience who wants to hear it and see it and experience it. Always get trained, continuous training. Continuously get trained like you're doing now. Find a platform or stage. Now, why do I put that in there? Because Zoom might not be for everybody. That's what we're on right now, but there was a time before Zoom existed, and I've been on Zoom since 2015 when it first came out. And I was trying to do webinars on GoToWebinar. And it just wasn't intuitive for me. I didn't like the user interface. And I'm a computer systems consultant, right? Remember that from years ago. That was my degree, but it just wasn't intuitive to me and I just didn't enjoy it. And I just wasn't taking action and moving ahead with it. Even though I signed up for it, I did a couple, but I wasn't loving it. Then I found Zoom, and I found Zoom because a computer symposium found me and wanted me to speak to the computer geeks about getting more business through speaking. And they used Zoom. And it was like heaven gates opened up for me. And I saw the potential. I signed up immediately for the webinar version, which is a little more expensive than the regular version, and been using it ever since 2015, never looked back. So that's my platform of choice, even before we've all gone to Zoom. So find the platform. Now, for you, it could be TikTok. For you, it could be Facebook Lives. One of my students in the past, she is just in love with the Facebook Lives and does them every single day without fail. Every single morning you can find her Her name is Carol Feely, and you can find her doing motivational talks on Facebook Live every single day. She just took to that, loves it. That's her platform of choice. So whatever your platform is choice, it's the one you resonate with. I want you to try them. So you need to try Facebook Live for a little bit. And I challenge you to do that. But if you do it, you've done it for 7, 8 days and you go, you know what? Yeah, this isn't for me. Once you learn it, yeah, this isn't for me. That's okay. That's okay. But you might find it is, or it's a second or third platform. Maybe you don't do it every day like Carol does, but maybe you do it once a week. Maybe you do it once a month. Again, it's all about gaining visibility in your market and doing what you love and sharing your love and your talents and your passion with other people. But you want to love the platform that you're on. So I love the Zoom platform. I love webinars. I love Facebook Lives. I love live events. But I really love training like we're doing here in this kind of event, because it takes less time to get more done, and you learn more, and you learn on your own computers, and you don't have to lug a laptop somewhere. It's really very cool. All right, take immediate action. Take immediate action on whatever it is. Whatever platform you choose, if you want to do that Facebook Live, take immediate action. If you want to call up and get speaking engagements, take immediate action. Whenever you get an idea, it's the 5-second rule. And that's from somebody on the internet. You can look it up, 5-second rule. Do it within 5 seconds, or it could be lost and gone forever. So idea comes in, take action on it. Take immediate action. And of course, number 5 is using my proven speaker systems. Some of the systems you learned already. Last time was my proven system for Facebook Live. Some of you have been through my Create Your Speech in a Weekend and learned my entire speaker system. But you're going to learn, all of you are going to learn a system coming up right now, which is how to put together an event. And whether that event is a webinar or a 3-day event, you're going to get that in a minute. Why? Because I love systems, because they're duplicatable. And all my systems are proven. I've developed them because I came out of the systems world when I was in corporate America. So, and there's some other people that use systems, but I use them for everything. And I create them for everything so that you can get the same results I get. All right, so bonus tip when you are the speaker or leader in a Zoom meeting. Now, these are, take your choice. I'm going to give you a choice. I'm going to tell you which one I prefer, but I want you to know all of them that are available and when you might use them for different activities. All right, so stepping on the stage. When are you going to use them? Different times, right? You might have a set time to enter. And I've had this happen where they're running a mastermind meeting. It's a private meeting and they don't want me to be there the entire meeting. So they give me a set time to enter the room. And when they say set time, they mean that set time. Now, you could be in the waiting room, perhaps, but before waiting rooms were popular, you would just come in and barge in the room. Sometimes you'll have a set time to enter. Enter with your video off. That's another option that sometimes hosts will do to people. Now, I did this for Florence LaRue. She's the lead singer for The Fifth Dimension, right? Up and away. Well, she's also one of my clients, and she's a member of the Passionately Speaking program, and she often joins us. Anyway, I wanted her to come and speak to a group, but I wanted her to kind of get a feel for the group. It's a Christian group. I wanted her to get a feel for the group and what was going on, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise of having her be our guest speaker. So I not only had her turn her video off to come into the room, but I also had her change her name in the profile because I didn't want her name to show up or her picture to show up as Florence LaRue. So we changed it to guest speaker just for that one. And then we changed it back after the meeting was over, but that's something you can do in your profile. And we took away her picture. So that's another method that you can use if you're going to be a secret speaker and surprise people, or maybe it's a family event and you want to surprise someone who hasn't seen you for a long time. There's just different ways to come in and step on stage. You can be asked to be put in the waiting room by the host if you come early, and you don't want your video off necessarily, but and you don't have a set time. You can just say, hey, when you introduce me, before you introduce me, put me in the waiting room. Now, where do I use this? I use this for my podcast, because there's nothing worse than that, I think, when I'm looking at somebody's podcast and there's two people there, and one is being introduced or they're waiting to be introduced, and the other, one person's talking and they're just kind of sitting there going, they don't know where to look. How many of you have seen that? Right? You've seen that, Beth, you've seen that? You know, I know Luana's seen that, right? And so what I do to my guests to help them out before I turn on the recording is I put them in the waiting room. And I tell them, you're going to be in the waiting room. I'm going to announce the show, because my podcast, I repurpose. Now, if you have a podcast and you're not going to repurpose it, it doesn't really matter. But if you are going to repurpose it on YouTube, which I recommend you do, I'm going to teach you how to do that, then put them in the waiting room. And then you could do your thing, and then you can bring them in, and now they're a nice surprise, and they're not sitting there twiddling their thumbs, waiting for you to let them in. Plus, if they give you a long introduction, oh, it's so good to have them sometimes in the waiting room, if it's a really long introduction. All right, next. So that's where you use that. You can, again, come early, ask the host to mute everyone, and click on speaker view. Now, here's the thing with speaker view. We're always in charge of our views, no matter who we are. Host, guest, you're in charge. So you can, if someone says put in speaker view, you can put in speaker view anytime you want, and put in gallery view too. So that only works some of the time. It's not the best option, and I never use it. I'll show you what I use in a minute. But it is, I just want you to know, we've learned it in Zoom, but it is there. But if anybody's not muted and they make noise, they're going to pop up. And where that's awful is during a recording. Then you see somebody pop up over here and somebody pop up over here. Not good. All right, ask the host to spotlight your video. That's the one I like. And we did this a couple of weeks ago in Zoom. Because when you spotlight, it's automatically spotlighted for everybody. You don't have to take the time to tell everybody to put you in speaker view. However, if someone doesn't want you spotlighted, they still have the power to go over the right-hand corner and put you in gallery view. And that's perfectly okay. But you are spotlighted to everybody else. Then you want to make sure that the host unspotlights you. Now, host and co-host can spotlight. So if you are a co-host, which you need to be to share your screen, if you are going to use PowerPoint as a speaker, then you have the power to spotlight yourself, and you don't have to tell anybody. How cool is that? Say, that's cool.
That's cool.
Awesome. So that ends our first session. We're going to go to event creation right now, but I just want to check in and see if there are any questions about anything we've covered. No? Good. All right. So I'm going to show you the event creation formula. This is really a whole new class, but I promised it. I just at least want to give you the formula so you can kind of be thinking about it and working on it, and while we move on to other things. So let me just share that real quick. All right. So virtual event creation. First thing is, which I mentioned before, just like with speaking, you want to choose your ultimate topic. What do you love? What do you know? What do you care about? What does your audience care about? There's got to be an audience. So for me, I love speaking. I know a lot about it. I'm a master of it. I've studied it. I've been studying it for 30 years. And the audience cares about it. There's a lot of people that want to be better speakers. So that's a perfect topic. But I also am passionate and I love dogs. and there's an audience. It's a billion dollar industry, but I don't really know that much about them. I mean, I know they're cuddly and cute, but I don't know how their physiology is. I don't know how their psychology is. I don't know anything about them. I just know that they're a bundle of love. So it wouldn't be a good topic for me to speak on. So think about your topic. Now, sure, it's ideally, hopefully it's about your business, but we have so many topics and there's so many people here that you have multiple topics that you probably struggle with. I could speak about this and I could speak about that. Speak about the one that has all three, because that's the target right here. That's your topic. And that's the one you're going to do an event on. So, virtual event creation system. First, you're going to select that ultimate topic. If you know what it is already, just write that down. And you'll get a chance to take a screenshot of this screen when it's complete. But whatever your ultimate topic is. So for Luana, it's journaling. That's your ultimate topic. You don't have to say the title now, but it's journaling. It's all about journaling. It's all about finance. It's all about health. So just your general topic. Then you'll drill down later. Decide on the length of event. Now, when I say event, I am talking about a webinar. That could be 1 hour. It could be a 6-week course. It could be a half a day event. It could be like me. I did an event 10 to 12 event, a half a day event. It could be a full day event. My Speak Up, Get Clients, which many of you went to, is a full day event. Many of you went to or are going to my $1 Million Speaker Summit, which is a 3-day event. So I don't recommend that you start with a 3-day event or even a 1-day event if you have not done any virtual events or speaking. Start small with something you can handle. Always recommend my students start with like a 1-hour webinar and go from there. Then, sell people maybe into a 2-hour workshop and then into a 3-hour and so on. So little baby steps, one step at a time. So decide on your length of time. Create a compelling event name. Now, event names are different from speaking names, from speaking titles. They're different. Titles that attract audiences are how to do something, the secrets of doing something, number one, secret or whatever. But event names are typically 3 to 4 names, and we've all seen them. So like virtual event creation system, right? That's a good event name. $1 Million Speaker Summit. I've got a new event coming up called Limitless Success Summit. I had one years ago that actually Tori came to. That's how long I've known Tori, over 17 years. And that was Speak Your Way to Wealth. That's 5. But, they're names that have benefit in them that people want to see or go to, but they're not sentences. They're never questions, and they're not how-tos. Those are for reserved for speaking titles, speech titles. Number 4, pick a date. Let's just pick a date. The beauty of virtual events is you don't need as much lead time. If I am doing a live 3-day event, I need minimum 6 months to get 100 people in the room. If I do a virtual $1 Million Speaker Summit like I did last September and I'm doing this September, I need 3 months and I got 200 people in the room. Same amount of money, same price, but more people could come because it was virtual and I had less lead time. If you're doing a 1-hour webinar, you only need a couple of days. So don't turmoil over this. Don't, just fret over it. Less time. The more time you have, yes, the more people will come. But remember, when we do virtual events, no matter what, no matter if people pay for it or not, typically 50% won't show. 60% if it's a free event, 60 to 80% won't show if it's a free event. So we've got to get a lot more people signed up these days because it's so easy to click and people go there and you and I know that we've all done it. Let's confess, how many of you signed up for an event, whether it's a webinar, 1 hour, or even a 3-day event that you didn't attend fully, right? We all have, I have, and I really wanted to go to the event, but something happened. So that's why I say in the beginning, do something small, get that win behind you, get that home run. And when you do your first event, you're not going to sell. You can sell if you want. You want to, work with me and I'll teach you how to sell. But right now you're just going up to bat. Just do the event, develop it. See, the way we create our topic and the way we create what we do and the way we create our books and workbooks is by doing it. By speaking it, we create it by speaking it aloud. We've learned that. We've learned that all of our life. Speak into existence what you want to create. So when we do our events, when we do our speaking, when we do our training, we've got to speak it because we're creating. I'm creating right now as I speak it. I'm bringing it all into existence. So the first few times, just like your speeches, just like your lives, just speak it and worry about the selling of it later. Worry about the home run later. Just hit the ball. Let's just get up to bat and hit the ball. Is everybody with me? Say yes. Awesome. All right, pick a date. Decide on if it's a paid event or not. And again, I recommend, I haven't even plugged in my phone. I'm not even, there we go. I'm not even doing my mic. I probably sound a lot better there. All right. So decide on if it's a paid or free event. I recommend free at first. Yeah, more people won't show up. But again, test out your market, test it out on your friends and family first. And just, what you want is people right now. Don't worry about the, few bucks you're going to get. Just get some people in the room. Select a virtual platform. Again, is it a web? Is it a Zoom? Is it a GoToMeeting? What's your platform? There's a lot of them out there. Is it a podcast? Is it just audio? Decide the delivery method. Is it a meeting? Is it a webinar? Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the difference. A meeting, you get to see everybody in gallery view. A webinar, you do not. A webinar, they see you and only you, unless you bring in what's called panelists. And if there's a lot of people, it's too many to bring in all the panelists. But it's a webinars, people cannot see who's in the room either, and people cannot see the number of people that are guesting, the number of people. Like we could all look at participants and we know exactly how many people are here. We cannot see that. So there's, there's reasons for webinars and there's reasons for meetings. So you pick which one you want. Also, webinars give people a break. You can tell them, hey, you don't have to get dutied up because we're not going to see you. So they feel good and they can just go to a webinar. I love webinars for training. I love to go to them because then, I can just focus on the training and I don't get distracted by all the faces. So it's all in what you want to do. So make that decision, set up the back end of your meeting. So that's when you schedule the meeting, schedule the webinar. If you're going to use a landing page, which is like a mini website, a shopping cart, if you're going to ask people to pay for something, all that needs to be set up. Now, this is in order. All right. So you just follow this checklist for your event. And you can cross it out. You might say, well, you can't cross that out because you at minimum have to set up the meeting in Zoom. All right. Create a bit.ly link. Now, why do I have that here? Because most Zoom meeting links, especially if you're not just using your instant meeting ID, and we learned the difference. If you are using passcodes or anything else like that, it's a long, big drawn out number. So I recommend you put it in bit.ly.com. It's bit.ly.com. It's free. You take a big old link, scary link, drop it in there, and it becomes a tiny link. And you can even call it what you want to call it if it's not taken. So, it's a small little link. And I will drop one in the chat real quick so you can see what they look like. All right, let me move all of you. But you will go to bit.ly to set up your own. But let me put in the link for that I'll put in the link for the network. All right, because Beth asked for that earlier. So let me put that in the Zoom chat and you'll see what it looks like. And I named this. And you can also go here and sign up. I got another brilliant idea. Sorry. I got the old link that I used a minute ago. Let me copy and let me put it in. So this is typically what they look like. And you'll see that I named it that name, pin-network. All right. I tried to just use PIN, but it was taken. All right. So create a bit.ly link. Go and get your bit.ly at bit.ly.com. It's free. Number 10, generate your marketing posts or emails. All right. So whatever you're going to send to your list, whatever you're going to put on social media, now it's time to start creating them. Market your event, broadcast it on email, social media, podcast, all you're doing now, everything's all done and you're just marketing. Text could be on this list as well if you have a text list. Decide on what your invitation is. So during my marketing time, that's when I'm deciding, what is it that I'm going to offer? You don't have to decide way up in the beginning. You can but you don't have to. But by now, you have to. So decide on what your invitation, your call to action is going to be. And again, it could just be, this has been a great time. I'm going to do this again. We've got an encore. Come back. If I've inspired you in any way, come and, drop your email in the link below. I mean, it could be any kind of call to action that we talked about today. It does not have to be a purchase one or an offer one. Okay. We talked about 5 or 6 different ones you can use. Develop your PowerPoint. Again, that doesn't have to be way up at number 1. You can develop it as you go. So develop your PowerPoint, then prepare yourself and your environment. And again, what backdrop are you going to use? If any, make sure, sometimes I pull my signs in front of me and I set up signs behind me. I put my director chair, I might put flowers. So I spice this up a little bit. So think about what you want to do. Make sure you've got whatever clothes you're going to wear, jewelry you're going to wear, your hair, all of that ready. And then, of course, deliver a great presentation. You're ready. Everything's done. Boom. And then the last step is follow up and close the business. Follow up might be the strategy sessions. It might be sending them your book. It might be sending them an email that says, I'm so happy that you came. One thing about Zoom will give you reports. If you do a webinar, this is another difference. If you do a webinar instead of a meeting, Zoom will not only give you the report of who registered, it'll give you a report of who came and who did not come. The meetings do not do that, but the webinars do. So if you're like me, where you want to send a thank you to the people that came, but a sorry, I missed you, here's the recording of the people that didn't come, you might want to choose the webinar platform. So again, that's entirely up to you. All right. Oh, I'm going to go back so you can take a quick picture. So take a quick picture of this with your phone. The recording, I'll probably send the recording later today, but just in case you don't get it, I want you to have this checklist. All right. So take a picture of that immediately. All right. So now, are there any questions? Are there any questions on the event? Okay. So your homework is to start thinking about your next event. Again, make it small, a little webinar, right? 30-minute webinar if you don't want to do a full webinar. Something small. You want to get out there right when you're jazzed up, right, Katie? Like Katie was jazzed up and ready to do that live, and that's what you want to do. So your homework will be do all this, write it all out. And then if you want to, send it to me. I'll give you some feedback. I'll tell you, hey, you don't have enough time to do this kind of event. It's going to take, or how big is your list, right? You can't count your list on your phone. It's going to take you 15 hours just to send them all text messages. What else have you got? That kind of thing, right? Just because you have 800 people on your list doesn't mean 800 people will come. When it's a free event, here's a little math for you. A list of 800 will, on a free event, will give you 1%. That's 8 people. It's a free event. 60 of them won't show up. You might have 4. So let's just be realistic for yourself. If it's a paid event, no matter how much they pay, I'm going to tell you 20% won't show up. We have 2 people. We have 2 people missing. 4 people took this yesterday, but we have 2 people missing. That's 10%, right? And last week we had 2% missing. So no matter if they pay, things happen. It's not their fault. Things happen. Stuff happens, right? I've missed events because something's happened with my husband unexpectedly. So we just never know. It's not their fault or your fault. It just is what it is. Just plan on it. And you can come to my live events and I will have all of the name tags there and you can see exactly what I mean. I'll have Cheryl's 900 people and there'll be 20 name tags sitting there, people that didn't get. So, I mean, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing events for 17 years. So just take, the experience. Now, sure, you've got to go up to bat yourself and try your own audience, but there's certain kind of rules of thumb that cross the lines into different types of events. So just take it for what it's worth and keep that in mind. I don't want you to get upset if only 2 people show up and you only had 6 people sign up. It's okay. Now you can increase those odds though by calling them, not emailing them, calling them. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So if you have time, you can always increase the odds by actually giving people a phone call, right? Because when we get a phone call, we feel important, right? You're the star, you're the leader, and you stopped and gave us a phone call. Woo, I better go. So just give me a little heads up. All right. So one last thing, what we want to do now before we say goodbye and happy Mother's Day. All right. Is many of you asked about video and you asked about YouTube and how to do all this stuff. And video is so hot right now. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of speakers and leaders, instead of doing long websites, which we've all seen those big, long sales letters from, years ago, well, they're not doing them anymore. Instead, they're doing a video and just, being real concise on the video. And that's how they're getting people into their events and buying things and upselling. So video is really important. It's really important for everyone to learn and get comfortable with video. Facebook Live is just a start. Why? Because Facebook Live will disappear. If you don't save that video, if you don't download it, it'll disappear. It won't be there forever. In YouTube, you can actually make stuff unlisted and private, and no one will see it if that's what you want to do. But you want to create it because video will last forever. And I've got videos that I've done 17 years ago. And my videos 17 years ago are not the same as they are today. If you want a good chuckle, go and see how I started, right? The lighting's bad. I started on a flip camera because we did not have the phone. We didn't have social media when I started. We didn't have Starbucks. There's a lot of things. I'm sounding like my mom, bless her heart. But there's a lot of things we didn't have. So embrace what we have now. Get started now because video can last forever. So you've asked for a class. So I put together a YouTube mastery class where I am going to teach you not only how to take your lives, put them up on YouTube, but how to put all your other videos. You can skip Facebook Live. I just repurpose and go right to the phone, do your YouTube lives or do your YouTube lives on your desktop, whatever. I'm going to show you how not only to load them up, but how to get subscribers, if you want to do the dinging and all that stuff, show you how to do that. I don't choose to do that. but I'm going to show you Canva and how you can change your thumbnails and put that up and really start that YouTube channel and really start your legacy and start getting your videos up there. And so you can have that portfolio. Whether you want people to see them right now or not, that is entirely up to you. But I recommend that it's a great way to get known. I've gotten a lot of business from YouTube just by people watching me. I've gotten podcasts. The other day, I had this guy who signed me up for a podcast. Let me just tell you this story real quick. And he was so excited that I was on his podcast. He was like, oh, wow, I can't believe it. Arvee Robinson, right? Because he saw me as a superstar because of all my videos on YouTube. Kid you not. I mean, he had me on a pedestal so high, my nose was beginning to bleed, right? And then I'm serious. And then, but it works the opposite way. There was this one girl that I watched on video do videos. And I had her in my high self-esteem. And all of a sudden, I'm at a speaking event, and there she is sponsoring. And I was getting myself, I was like, oh my God, it's so great to meet you because I've seen you on video for so long. You've been in my office for so long. So that's the impact, ladies, that it can have. But you have to start now creating those videos. It's powerful like nothing else. I'm telling you, instant stardom. Instant stardom. All right. So what is this? Real simple. And remember, if video's a little uncomfortable for you, everything you want is outside your comfort zone, or you would already have it. So let's get uncomfortable together. Let's get uncomfortable together. So this class will be like this one. It's in Zoom. Full money back guarantee. If you don't like it, just tell me. And some fast action bonus. I'm only doing this one time right now. My other 3 classes you've took, I've been doing those 3 over the past year. But this one, I'm only doing it for you because you asked me. I'm not sure if it was Cheryl that asked me, but somebody, 2 or 3 of you asked me, yes, last week when we were talking about it. So it's going to be on a Monday. I'm going to give you Saturdays off because I've taken 3 of your Saturdays right in a row and 1 Sunday. So we're going to put that on Monday the 17th to give you some rest. And it's from 10 o'clock to 12:30. If you can't come, go anyway, because, I mean, I know some of you work, but the recording will be worth it. The recording will be worth the little $97. It is a one-time opportunity. So let's do some Zooms and get yourself out there. I'm looking for only 8 people. I'm only going to do this for 8 people. I have 3 people from yesterday that signed up already. So I have a few more spots. So I'm looking for 8 people dedicated, to really want to do this video. All right. So all you have to do to get that is you can text me. If you want to use a credit card, just text me that you're in and I'll call you and we'll get you signed up on a credit card. Or you can use PayPal and go to PayPal me and use this link and put that in there. And what I'll do right now is in the chat, I'll go ahead and type that link in there. If you have a second screen, you can type on the chat while you still have your screen up. It's the coolest thing. All right. Everybody knows about PayPal me, right? PayPal me is a quick way to collect money without having to create an invoice in PayPal. They do take a little more of it, but like now, so if ever you're doing anything and you just want people to sign up and you don't want to do a sign up page or something, you can just do a PayPal me. All right, so the link is in there. So again, I hope you join me. And again, just stay in the community and keep learning. All right, so who's in? Who's going to join me? Awesome. Great. Everybody. Excellent. Good job. And Tori, let's get your system fixed by then. Oh, great. Thank you. You're texting me. Awesome. So if you want to use that credit card, I'll call you back. But Tori, let's figure out a time. You and I can meet, figure this out. If we can't over the internet, then then bring your computer to me. Where there's got to be something that's turned off, turned on, or something that's goopy. But we'll try it over the internet when we're just by ourselves. So I'll set I sent you my link in the chat. Can you look at the chat? Schedule a 30-minute session with me and we'll get that done before the 17th. Okay? All right. Yes, Beth. You're muted. Don't you hate that?
I hate that. I just went and did it, and it looks like I requested $97 from you. So,
You need to send it.
oh, okay, that's a good suggestion. Because I just took $97 from you instead of
No, because it's requesting it. I still have to accept it. So I'll
Okay,
just
so-
decline it.
so I can go back and do it again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. That's a good trick though. Yeah, I don't know why they have both of them on there. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't done this system before.
Well, we can always do credit card if you prefer.
I'll just.
But I also wanted to teach you that so that you would have that, because if you're worried about, oh my God, I don't have a link on my website, or I don't have this, you don't need any of that.
Yeah. That's a
Right?
good
You can just do this and not have any of that and accept money as long as you have PayPal. Now you could do the Venmo thing and all that too. You could do that, send your Venmo links. If you have it, I don't have that Venmo set up. I did it one time and somebody took $650 from me from India. So I'm going to close that one out. But anyway, use whatever works for you and your audience. All right. Anything else, ladies, before we end and you go off to have your Mother's Day? Yes, Karen.
For the PayPal link, like you could customize it because obviously this one's for the YouTube mastery, but I see it's customized, like it has the $97.
Oh yeah, you get your link. My link goes to blah, 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 PayPal me, Arvee Robinson. Then whatever amount I want, I put after that. So no dollar sign. So if it's 47, I'd put 47.00. It was 200, I'd put 200. Coaching sessions, whatever. Yeah, you can use it for anything. Just change the amount at the end once you set it up. But you got to go to PayPal me to set it up.
Uh-huh.
I think even going to my link, it asks you if you want to have your own. I think it does that too. Yeah.
So this is something you have to set up.
Yeah. Yeah. It only takes a second.
Last question, Arvee, like you didn't use it today, but there was a device that you used the last time, like last month, the 2 day where it was a camera and you were writing something. Like what's that device called?
You're talking about it's called a document camera. Document camera. You can get it on Amazon. This one is a InSwan, INSWAN. They're $99.
Well, like that's
Very
good, though.
good.
Instead of like the whiteboard, or it would be good to do that.
Everybody's seen this in action?
What does it do, Arvee?
Okay, let me show you real quick. Katie, you had a question?
Yeah, I only got one of the videos replaced from last week, but I didn't get the second one. Is there a way, or where do I go to get the second one, the second half?
Well, last week was only one. It didn't have two halves. Today is only two halves because I made a mistake. And I was trying to pause it when we were doing the texting thing and I stopped it accidentally. But no, the classes, it's just one recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. All right, so here's the document camera. Let me turn it on. You're gonna blow your mind, ladies. I just love this. Now let me share. So you want to turn it on and let me get a piece of paper.
Is it just a USB connection to our laptop?
Yes, USB. I just plugged it into USB. Now this is why you'll see, but I won't do it. I don't want to take the time, but this is why I got the gloves. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Everybody see that? You see what's on my screen? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Wear your
perfect.
gloves.
All right. Well, that's the thing. I know because you want to know. Gloves, I moved them. I moved
Gloves.
them. Oh my God, I don't know. I moved them but yeah, you don't want to put your hands if they're, look at, see, I haven't gone to the nail place for a long
Your
time.
hands look fine. I was just teasing you.
No, you're right, but I'm like, I have them out and they must have fallen. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, they were hidden under the bag. Okay, so now, and ladies, you can get these on Amazon too. I should make and develop my own so that, and make $1 million. Okay, so now you have this, and now you're teaching. So whatever you like to teach from. So like, remember earlier I said something about fans. So I would just write it out. And then the F stands for family, right? The A is for your accomplishments. The N is for network, or whatever you want to do. So it like takes place of your whiteboard, right? And you can go up and make it smaller and move it around. My microphone's in the way. Make it smaller, right? You could do all kinds of things with it. Is that cool or cool? Right? If you want to show something, instead of holding it up, I can put it here. Make sure you get a copy of my book. It just makes for something more interesting, especially if you're teaching.
That is awesome.
Right? So Tori, if you are doing readings or you are doing card readings of any kind, you could use something like this and show the cards or show yourself in action, right? Instead of just putting it down here where no one could see. I've had people that do magic use the magic tricks and use this technique. People that do food shows can, make food. You have to prop it up a little bit so it's higher, that kind of thing. But they all use something like this. Now, where did I see this? I saw it at an event and a guy was using it. And I went, what is that? Of course, everybody did. And of course, he was much younger, so his hands were in better shape. But ladies, you got to get the Zoom gloves. Okay, because they look much better if you're gonna write. Yeah, you love that. All right, Katie's happy. Yay, good. Yeah, yay. Okay, so much for the document. And again, you just plug it in. You can even keep it plugged in all the time if you want. But one thing you have to be careful, if you keep it plugged in, if you use it a lot and keep it plugged in, it can serve as a microphone. So people might go, I can't hear you. Look at your Zoom settings next to mute, and you'll see this little corporate took over your mic instead of your webcam. So I just keep it unplugged now. All right. Anything else before we lunches and evenings? I told Michael, we're not going out to lunch today because everybody and their brother is out for Mother's Day. We're going to have it home. We went to lunch yesterday instead because it's a madhouse. I don't know, is that where you are? Is that what it's like? Yeah, madhouse. Okay, well, anything else? All right, then I will see you on the next training on the 17th. Mwah. Goodbye, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. It's been my pleasure to serve.
Mother's Day.
Right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.